top of the Evercast. The Evercast, a.k.a. the Evercade effect. It's your host with the most. Oh yeah. Roll up, roll up, roll up. It's time for your weekly dose. Turn on, tune in at last. It's time for the Evercast. Join the community. You'll have a blast.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Evercade podcast. Yes, I'm getting over a cold. Happy Saturday and all that good stuff. Got Pete and Crow, and we haven't heard from Rich for a while. So how y'all doing?
Oh yeah, Rich.
For a while.
For a while. What?
He wasn't here last week, right? So it was like the
No.
week before.
Didn't he
So
pop
2
in
weeks?
last week for a little bit?
I don't think so.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's all blending into one. Like I'm so
Yeah.
busy. It's like I gotta look up and like look at my phone to see if it's Saturday or not. I'm like, oh, it's Saturday. Okay. I'm like, it's so crazy. But it's all gonna hopefully get less crazy in November. So I'm super excited.
I'm just getting over a cold. Otherwise, I think.
Yeah, how you getting over cold yet you were streaming until the middle of the night last night? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
But it's
So-
that's a you problem, not a Evercast fan base problem. That's
No,
a
no,
you
no. So like
problem.
these like chloroseptic things that taste like ass, they work. They numb the back of your
You were
throat.
irresponsible by streaming to your community instead of being prim and proper for this morning, sir.
You know what you really need is raw horseradish.
You know what's good? Yellow mustard for your throat. And I'm not shitting you, man. Just eat a spoonful of yellow mustard, nothing else. Plain yellow mustard, French's yellow mustard. It takes the cut off your throat, like takes this layer off your throat and really helps. It's true. Yellow mustard, dude.
I would prefer raw horseradish.
Oh God, those both sound vile, but I don't.
Well, when I grew up in a little tiny community, little tiny village in northern Quebec, we didn't have medicine all the time, right? So that was a homemade medicine. Whenever I used to get a sore throat, my grandma used to give me 2 spoonfuls of mustard, and it took forever for me to like mustard into adulthood. 'Cause-
You know, that was the original song in Mary Poppins, but didn't flow too well. So they changed it to sugar instead.
That's funny.
oh my
A
god!
spoonful of mustard helps the medicine go down.
Little bit of mustard helps the medicine.
I'm gonna say, health-wise, though, I am much of one of the reasons why we have to cut a little short because I'm going to get a flu shot. Like,
You're gonna cut a little short.
when
Me and
Ed
Crow
says
will be here
short,
forever.
That's true.
He means we're gonna end on time.
Yeah, on time. I'm usually the one that has to dodge out early, mostly because I'm just bored. But no, I'm just kidding.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Actually, no, I got to do a bunch of stuff today. I got to go to Costco to get some cakes. It's my father-in-law and my son's birthday weekend, so tuxedo cakes and tiramisu cakes for everyone.
Nice.
I killed myself yesterday, so I'm not doing anything today.
Yeah, no.
I was
Saturday at
outside-
Costco, I wouldn't have it any other way. oh man, it's horrible.
What's horrible? Costco?
Saturday at Costco.
They built a Costco nearby me, and it's like the traffic is always terrible. It's like
Right?
people who go to Costco don't know how to drive.
No, yeah, and they all block getting gas. They all block the
Yes.
the parking lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I go there, my mood just drops. I go in super happy, and I'm like, get out of here now. That's my biggest fear in life, that the doors lock in Costco, and I'm stuck in there with everyone else.
God. Oh God.
You know, though, they sell hot dogs, so you're good.
Yeah, their hot dogs not that great, dude. They're just cheap.
They're cheap. Yeah, they're cheap.
You can't survive. I think, like, if you try to eat Costco hot dogs, something bad's gonna happen to your body if you eat like more than like a couple a day. It has to, right?
Oh God.
You know, I think that's true for almost anything.
No, it's not. I don't think you can do your body bad if you eat just broccoli all day long.
Okay.
I think you could, actually, if that's the only thing you eat. I could testify it's bad if you eat 16 Whoppers in 4 days.
Okay.
I was talking about broccoli.
I know, I'm just saying.
Let's say hi to the chat. We got some channel members like Lloyd. We got Andre.
They're not
got
my
G.
channel member.
Another member. We got Morley Bruxton. Hey, Joe Whitlash, and he's saying with Game of the Month not being received as well this year, they should try to reboot Arcade. Yeah, no kidding. Kind of talking about we've been talking
What
about
was the
that.
last game of the month?
Oh, it
What do
was
you mean the last
puzzle. that puzzle game, which actually I kind of liked that.
Speaking of Costco,
I don't even know what the game's about. I haven't even really been paying attention.
that's where I got my glasses from.
I know there was something about dog or something.
No, you were like the
Sokoban. It was a Sokoban game. Is that the
Yeah,
one that's is that the box pushing one? Is that the one that's now
Yes, and you were like the
currently?
monkey getting bananas. Yeah.
Yeah, that was mid.
Well, it's I don't. It's not, just sounds like it's a kind of a graphical twist on a like old style of game, like a really old style of game. So
Yes, Soko
Yeah.
Banana, right?
Yeah. So go banana. Kind of funny how DF says Happy Catterday, like he's got his kitty. I almost thought that was like his beard at first.
Costco
Maybe
Poutine
grows
is
beard
next
puts into
level.
a cat. I don't know. So hey, got that. Got Nathan. Crypto Coffee. Got Dan Ruff. Oh, Cove Ed. I get it. And Rob Taylor. Remembers Herbors and my cock hurts. Actually, my throat did hurt. Oh, he likes your shirt. We got Rasta
yes.
and the infamous Ian Hobbies. And this might be the most offensive thing that Gina said.
How
Anyone
so?
else think hot dogs are medicine?
I thought
Hell
it is
no.
medicine.
I agree, Lloyd. Costco Poutine is next level.
Is that something Costco actually does have?
Yeah, in Canada. Yeah, Costco
Okay,
Poutine.
I know.
is unbelievable.
I don't even know if I've ever actually been in a Costco.
Really?
So I couldn't
Sam's
even
is
tell you if they have it here.
But have you seen one on TV?
I've seen one in real life. Like,
Well, actually-
not inside, but outside, because I drive by it all the time.
Costco and Sam's are like the same thing, except the Costco memberships are more expensive. And Sam's, you can get like free pickup and delivery. And anyways, but I do need to show my poll.
Please think of the children.
So this I was curious about. I don't know, because with Evercade Alpha, right? Because I don't know. Sometimes I kind of feel like maybe this was a misstep. I don't know. Blaze is doing half the time anymore, but got 96 votes, and I was just curious to see what the community thought would happen with Evercade Alpha. Is it going to be one and done? 52%. We'll see more next year. 20. A cheaper one with no built-in games will come out next year. 16. And then for the fun of it, I'm like, where's my HDMI port? And then we have like other comments, and people are kind of like reiterating and saying, like they're worried Blaze is going too fast, more ever delays. RGTV saying mildly disappointed. It's just going to sit on the shelf. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you agree with this poll?
No. Because I mostly disagree with any of your polls.
Yeah. Well, besides being a contrarian.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with the alpha. It's the kind of thing. It's like I don't think it's gonna sell that much, but I really don't think they're expecting it to sell much. They're just putting it out there just to see if there is demand for it or not. Don't think there is, but if they're not going to be, it was just kind of like an experiment for them, I guess. See what happens. I'm interested in it. I seem to be the only person interested in it, but that's fine.
Yeah,
the fact that they haven't sold out any, sold it out yet is the first time in a long while that. Well, actually, the last couple systems haven't sold out right away. So I think the fact that this one you can still get the special edition and it hasn't sold out yet is really kind of tells you.
Well, again, I just think that
the appetite's not there. I think I don't know if it's going to be one and done.
The type of customer they have with their Evercade stuff, that's not the demographic that would really be interested in this sort of thing, I think.
Yeah.
And then the people who wouldn't really be aware of it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I'll tell you why I think it's a one and done, and it just kind of goes back to how and I may have to make a video on this, but how I kind of feel that like Blaze has completely mishandled their marketing and releases this year. Like it's really scatterbrained. And kind of what I mean is that they made the thing too expensive because they had to have licensed games. They didn't release enough arcade carts, and they didn't release it early enough in the year. And that's why it's going to be a one
Are
and
you
done.
saying that it's expensive because there's Capcom games on it?
Yes. Yeah, dude.
I don't think so. I really
license.
don't. I think even if there were no games built into it, it wouldn't reduce the price all that much.
I think it would, and they could go with a little bit cheaper, maybe go a little cheaper components. But here's the problem, though. It goes against it goes against like the Evercade spirit of not having built-in games, right? Like not having cards. So that's kind of like strike one, and then strike two. We didn't get that many
Wait a
cards.
minute. You would apply that same strike to the Evercade EXP then, because it had all those Capcom games built into it. You'd apply that strike right
Yes.
towards the Super
Yeah,
Pockets because it's exactly the same thing.
I agree with you, dude, and that's like the whole controversy. But the problem is, it's something that like it's too expensive, not enough hype, not enough cards that came out with it. It was like it was kind of like mismarketed. Like it should have come out. It should have come out like at the beginning of the year. And quite frankly, like the community isn't that interested. Because here's my whole thing. Blaze is a small company. They have limited resources, and I kind of wish instead of doing a Hail Mary, they would have focused their attention elsewhere.
I think they're just putting this out there to see what the reaction is. I don't think this is going to make or break the company.
Yeah,
No,
I'm kind of
no.
in your camp with that one, Crow. I think they're just testing new ideas to grow their company, and
Yeah.
some fall flat, some don't. I don't know if this one, like somebody brought up a good thing, crypto coffee. I think that's a really smart statement. Like the majority do. And I think this needs, like to Crow's point, it needs more people in that genre of community, like the arcade, mini arcade, arcade one-ups, to actually see and hear about this, to actually see if it's going to be successful. I actually agree with that. But Ed says something too, that they've made a lot of, like, I don't know if you use the word missteps, or they've been all over the place. We haven't seen Sean around, right? Is Sean still in marketing over there? Or it's like, because they've had a lot of people come into the company, right? Like, that's probably pointing towards some of their messaging being a little bit out of sort, probably. I don't know.
But even if you look at like Blaze, as a whole, like not just focusing in on the Evercade stuff, they're typically all over the place with what they release.
Yeah, but last year they were more focused. They had the showcases, we had the Dukes. They had more of a plan the way they released the carts. It made a lot more logical sense. There was more variety. And this year they're a little. Oh, here's the thing that's kind of funny. If they are going to do more blue carts, those would be the two that I would want. That I think would be of quality. Yeah.
More C64 collections.
Dude, I might, I don't know.
C64.
No, I might have to make a video dedicated to that. C64 is pure nostalgia. That's all I'm going to say.
Isn't all of this stuff?
No, like there's like a certain like level of quality of retro games that are supposed
just
to have.
The fact that we're buying physical cartridges is kind of a nostalgic thing.
It is, but I'm just saying, like, let me put it this way: if you were like grown up and you were a DOS gamer and you saw like how powerful,
if I was grown up,
no, when you were growing up, like if you were like let's say like in the earlier years, it was kind of like, hey, computer games had like better graphics, had FMVs, had like more things. And then for me, kind of come to find out, like the Commodore 64, like it was like a downgrade, right? Like not all games can do audio and video, audio for music and sounds. It has like a drab kind of brown color palette. You know what I mean? Like, yes, the Atari had like block graphics, but you kind of like knew what you were getting into. I don't know. It's just, and the funny thing is, when I did my C64 video, there were quite a few people that are like, "Hey, I live in the UK and I don't like the C64, and I grew up with it." So
there's people everywhere. You're gonna always find somebody that doesn't like something, no matter what it is, no matter where they live.
Yeah, I've been mostly terrible. Yeah. Although, believe it or not, the weird, like last night, because like Gene was kind of telling me how to play Creatures 2, and I actually had fun playing that. But my God, though, to figure that out, and then each level it's like a weird puzzle. Oh my God. Yeah, DOS. Yes, that's what I kind of mean. Like, if they're going to do that, but
well, I'd like to see Electronic Arts C64 games, and I'd like to see Accolade. Every single C64 collection we've seen so far, to me, the majority of the ones I've liked have been the Epix ones.
Mm.
But like that, but it's always Epix and Usen, And for me, most of the Usin ones, I've been like, whatever.
Oh, so okay. So here's the other thing with the misstep that I actually with the C64 kind of reminded me. So being that Blaze has been on a kick of releasing computer carts and C64 carts instead of
Wait,
releasing
a kick?
yeah, I kind of wonder why they haven't released a special edition VS that looks like a C64. You know what I mean? That's like skinned like a C64. Maybe has built-in games. I would thought that would do really well. You know what I mean?
No, they got if they're. I would say that's so far off. If for them to do that, if they were really invested in these computer collections, they would have given us a keyboard support already. Like, come on, that should have been the keyboard support should have been there the second computer collections were there.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess, like with Evercade out, like if anything they could have released, I just kind of feel like that's the most unnecessary thing. Like they could, as far as like what people want. I don't know. My rant. I kind of feel like it's the one thing that nobody asked for, and that Blaze thought it would be a brilliant idea, and it's kind of been
what's the one thing that nobody asked for?
Was an Evercade Alpha. Like nobody, there wasn't an outcry.
Now we're back to that.
Yeah, like people want games, they want maybe controllers, but not necessarily.
Hey, isn't that exactly what is in the Evercade Alpha? Not only does it have games, but it has a controller.
Yeah, but what I mean, probably an inferior controller compared to something like an 8-bit. Like if they just did like a dedicated, controller. So I don't know. It's
inferior. If you get the deluxe one, you get Sanwa buttons and joysticks.
Yeah, but I don't know. That seems a little bit. It seems like a little bit overkill.
And honestly, I think the 8-bit stuff is kind of like when it comes to like the arcade stuff with our 8-bit it's a little bit overrated.
It might. Yeah, it might. Well, I mean that's just an example, but but again, like last year they had a good formula, right? They came out with like Duke Nukem special editions. For the love of God, I can't figure out why they didn't come out with Tomb Raider special edition consoles. Like that would have been those would have sold out like that. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that. It's like how many people are gonna just keep buying the consoles every time they come up with a new variation?
I think they've reached a limit with the. I think they've reached a limit now with the existing community. I mean, there'll be a few, but I don't think we'll see. Like how many of us have bought the Evercade R, that product line, right? You'll see less and less of the core community buying them.
Yeah.
And that's just the color. I mean, I don't even know why they renamed it. I really don't. I mean, it kind of makes sense with the EXP-R because you're not getting. What does it not? It doesn't have does it not have the HDMI out? I can't remember if it does or not. But it also doesn't have the Capcom games built in.
Yeah, so they should like
say
the
HDR
removed.
You know that you're not getting games built in. You're not going to be able to hook it up to a TV. But the VSR, I just don't understand at all. It has exactly the same capabilities. It really should just not even had a.
There's Sony, right? Sony with every iteration of their new console, they remove something from the original version.
Well, it's like even Sony. It's like with the PlayStation. If you remember the original PlayStation, they kept removing ports.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They used to have a serial out or.
But they never like, oh, this is PlayStation-R. This is PlayStation-M. No,
the only time they did a rebrand was with the little tiny one.
Yes, and that was because it physically was smaller. It had a different shape and look. But all the other, original PlayStations, they were the same size. It was just like maybe the CD reader was rotated a little bit on one rather than the other, and maybe the serial port was removed on one.
Yeah,
the composite out was removed.
R stands for removed. Something got removed.
Yeah, no,
reduced.
I'm like
reduced. Yeah, that's a better word. Reduced.
That would have sold out. They could have done like a sexy exclusive Laura like wallpaper in the background, or they could have had like images. Dude, they Tomb Raider is popular enough that they could have. So I don't know, and I think maybe you might have hit on something too, P. Maybe Sean isn't in charge of marketing. Is he, like you said, is he still with the company? He's been. I hope he is. I don't know. Something has changed in this last year or so.
Yippers.
But so check this out. So this This is that was interesting, and I thought this is going to throw back again from like the Evercade Reddit, which I lurk in. They said basically they were so bummed this morning because they left the house without their EXP or Switch, but they remembered that they left this guy like in their car, like in their glove compartment, and they hadn't touched him in months, and like it was still charged. And so and that was like the OG. So I thought that was like freaking awesome.
Wait, what was in their car?
Hold on. It's StreamYard. Hold on. StreamYard is being StreamYard. I shared it, but it didn't. Let me go back over. Hey, there we go. I can StreamYard. But basically, they're saying that they were bummed because they forgot their EXP or Switch, and they left this in their car, and they hadn't touched it in months, and it still had a charge, and it worked, and all that. So I thought that was pretty.
Did they have a game with them? Apparently, I guess there was a cartridge left in it too.
Yeah.
Because that's the one model. If you didn't have a cartridge, you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. Well, actually, they had like the C64 collection. One of them.
Which one is in there? Oh, that's World Games. I think that's C64 collection too.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was just kind of neat to see the original. I guess really what I miss is, speaking of nostalgia, I really miss like the early days of Blaze, where you didn't know if you were going to get more than 10 carts, and there was kind of like the whole spirit of the thing. And they're like, "Hey, yes, we know we don't have the greatest hardware, but this is what we have," and they just kind of like
wait. You didn't know if you were going to get more than 10 carts in a year?
Yeah, dude. In the early days, I think like a lot of people thought Evercade was just going to be like a one and done, just the initial 10 carts. It was just going to kind of be a gimmick. And then slowly they came out with more carts, and it kept growing, and we got Link's carts.
Oh, you mean 10 carts overall? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So like Blaze has come like a long way, which is awesome, and I respect that. But I kind of miss like how it was like in the early days, and like last year they were on track. This year I feel like they were detached. I'm hoping they'll go back to that, right? I'm really hoping that they will. That they'll kind of go back to that, and maybe they'll like listen a little bit more to the community, and maybe be more involved.
I'm not really seeing a difference. Looking through the years, there's 1 year we got the least amount of cartridges. What year was that? Let's see here.
It could have been this year.
No, it's definitely not this year. I don't think it is this year. There was 1 year I think we had 10 carts altogether. Let's see, it was probably 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 2022 had 10 carts total.
See, funny. Okay, so this is kind of what Mike is kind of backing up what I've been sort of said. Like as soon as they announced carts, and that's what I'm saying. Like I honestly think like the arcade community doesn't care as much about having like an alpha. They want like arcade carts. I don't know. That's kind of like more of like a novelty. Like, hey, you could own a physical cart of an arcade game that you could never own a physical cart of.
Yeah.
And so they've stepped away from that, and they've stepped away from indie games and whatnot, which I think is also like a misstep. Like Blaze needs something unique. Like they need to publish their own games, or they need to kind of get those like lesser known titles.
How have they stepped away from indie games?
We've hardly gotten any this year, dude. That's the problem.
We had Indie Heroes 3.
We always get Indie Heroes though, but I'm saying like in addition we get like
you get a game of the month that's an indie game every month.
Yeah, but you're missing the point. Like last year we got like the Astro Bros collections, stuff like that. We've gotten like Morph Cat. Like usually we get one or two like dedicated, like higher quality, like AA like indie games. Yeah, like we need Shovel Knight. Why haven't we gotten that? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Shovel Knight would be amazing.
Yeah. That's what I.
That's what I is like. Shovel Knight is on everything already, so there's really nothing that stops you from playing it. It's just that you can't play it on Evercade.
Right, but again, I think you're missing the point. Like it's having it on. Like you can play all these games on Evercade and other devices.
And it's not even the fact that you can't even have you can even get a physical version of it, of Shovel Knight. So it's not even that.
If you want to go the Nintendo Switch route, yeah. But then I'd have to give money to Nintendo, and I don't want to do that. No, but seriously.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But seriously though, so I don't know. It's just I'm just hoping next year we can kind of like laugh and we can kind of like look back at this year.
Well, there's
I don't see a problem.
You don't, but like a lot of the community, like pretty much like all I can say is that like pretty much like, and this is going over again, this is just mainly just my channel when I go live and people commenting. People want more arcade. They don't want any more Pico. They don't want any more C64, for the love of God, or even computer.
No matter when it was or what it was, there's always going to be somebody like something to focus on, saying, "Oh, they should be doing this. They should be doing that." You need a VS in shovel. You could go to Michael's. You could and get some acrylic paint. Paint your VS whatever you want. There's nothing that stops you from doing it.
Yeah, but nobody wants to. Well, you might be the only person that wants to do that. We want like commercial stuff. Yeah, nothing wrong with the remaining cartridges this year, if you ask me. Okay. No, I got you.
Well, and then there's still 2 more they haven't even announced. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So, again, right now, so far, there is 10 carts that have either come out or have been announced for this year. So if those 2 that they haven't announced actually do come out this year, that would put us at 12. However, they're not strangers to things being delayed. So, I mean, it's possible that certain things can get delayed till next year, and we would get fewer than 10 carts.
I guess I heard it seemed like, Crow, are you offering a painting service? He's like, dude, I'm sending mine to you today.
I'll do it for the low price of $2,500.
Oh God, that'd be funny if someone took you up on it. No, it's just, again, it's like, not that there was, let's say, anything wrong with this year. I think for me, what it comes down to is I thought last year I saw like a lot of innovation, especially like with the Duke, and I don't. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, to be competitive in the space, you constantly have to push the envelope, and I thought Blaze has been doing good on that. And then this year was just kind of like a bit of a stumble. And someone could say, "Well, don't you think the Evercade Alpha was innovative?" I'm like, not really. You know, I mean, again, that's just
innovative. It's basically taking what it seems to me, without actually having one yet. Just seems to me like they're doing the countercades that Arcade 1-Up has done. Also, I've seen, even before Arcade 1-Up started doing that, I've seen these tabletop things that people have made. It seems like they're taking that concept, possibly improving the quality. That's what it seems like based on what they've posted. Like, even just having an IPS screen is an improvement over what Arcade 1-Up would have put out. But then also just saying, okay, then now you could buy cartridges and you're not limited to the number of games on it without, just basically ripping out the internals and putting in your own.
These cup tops are, too much hardware. Let's get back to cards. Thank you. That's kind of the thing. That's like the whole reason a lot of us have Evercade.
So if there was no Evercade Alpha coming out right now, what would you blame the lack of carts on? Well, I don't think the Evercade Alpha is stopping the amount of cartridges they're releasing.
No, but I think it takes away from their R&D. It takes away from the resources. It takes away from the money for licensing. I think if we didn't see an Evercade Alpha, perhaps maybe we could have gotten more.
But what would R&D be doing? Like, that's what R&D would be doing, is looking into hardware. They don't need R&D to put games on cartridges.
No, that's my point. And so they could use those people to do other things. It's a small company, right? Like, people do like multiple things. Like, I doubt somebody just does like one.
So if they were somebody was working in R&D, stop working on that project, go get us licenses. The guys would be like, hey, that's not what I'm here to do. That's not my job.
No, but that's just an example. Or maybe they could, or maybe they could work on like the lower craft special editions. No, I haven't. That's all. I mean, again, for the company to grow, I hope Evercade Alpha does well. I just like, we've kind of gotten to the point in the gaming industry that like you really need to be in tune with what your audience wants for games. You know what I mean? Like, not release like a 200 million, like not invest like $200 million in an online game that nobody wanted. That's that's kind of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. So it's just I don't know.
But how do you know if nobody wants it unless you put it out there?
Because it's like, because I would like to think the people that are doing it are gamers themselves, and they know from experience, and you do focus groups and all that. Like, you're, like being in tune. That's all. Like I like, like I feel like I have like a good pulse of what people want because I think like people, and people that watch us, they have like similar interests. You know what I mean? That's kind of like it's not too hard to think of. What would you want to see? Like, yes, more arcade. Yes, more Namco, more Sega, and maybe those licenses are.
And more C64.
I'll take a Gremlin 3 collection before that. Yeah, it feels a little bit risky. Oh god, what Google like kicked off Google like saying that? Yeah, a little bit risky. Testing the waters. Yeah, or maybe like do like focus groups. Do a hardware poll and carts. And sure we. Yeah.
Oh, I've got my polls going to see which one.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. Now I will say like the Tomb Raider for me, like the Tomb Raider collection's been a big hit. I've been like really enjoying playing that on stream. But here's what's interesting though that I know like a lot of people were focused on the tank controls. No. The thing with Tomb Raider is that sometimes like just because of like the graphics, like the backgrounds blend in, and it's difficult like to see where to go. Like that's kind of the whole thing. And like luckily, like I had like Gene guiding me. There's a new guy called James guiding me last night, like on where to go. That's what would have caused me to lose interest. It's just the frustration of like where to go in this game and like what ledges you should be able to jump to.
Well, I really don't see how I'm gonna like the Tomb Raider games more than those Duke Nukem games that were in Duke Nukem 2, I think. The one that was like a time of the ones that were based off of Tomb Raider, basically.
No, I think you'd like Tomb Raider more.
No, I played the first Tomb Raider, and I could tell you I like the Duke Nukem game more.
Wow. Yeah. For me, those Dukes, I don't know that. Yeah, I couldn't get in. I couldn't get into it. I'm like, no, Dukes in third person. I mean, but again, that's the cool variety. But
well, yeah, I ignored those games because that's the way I thought. Is like, this isn't first person. I'm not really interested in this. Plus, it's on a gaming console, and I was like only wanted to play Duke Nukem on PC. And so when I played those, I was like, oh, this is not that bad.
That's horrible, I heard. So we got to the end of Creatures, realized he had the wrong power up. Yeah, oh my god. Kuro needs the pew pew pew. No, right. Well, we kind of did like a poll on that. We kind of did a poll. Wow, trying to find the purple limited edition for a gift. Interesting. That's going to be hard to find because we're only like 1,000 of those. But I know there was a time where you could look for them on eBay, and all that. But yeah, Legacy of Kain, that I'm looking. I can't believe that we should be getting that soon. I hope those ship out soon. But that I'm really looking forward to, especially the first like Legacy of Kain. I think as far as people in the community, I think they'll like them better than the Tomb Raider collections. But I think the Tomb Raider collections have still been like really fun. Although for me, I will say that like usually per stream, I can just do like one level. Like I'll complete one level and then I'm kind of Tomb Raidered out. You know what I mean? Because it's which I think is kind of good because I don't want to get burnt out of those games. But who knows? Maybe the last two carts, maybe one of them's an SNK, one's a TurboGrafx. I don't know. Probably not though, right? Probably not. But no, for me though, personally, I'm really excited for Toplin 3 and Data East 2. I cannot wait until we get those. That's really based upon what I said, not likely. Yeah. No, I think it's funny because Gene just like, yeah, they're gonna be 2 blue carts. That would be like because traditionally Evercade has had like 2 bangers. Like last year we got like the Astro Bros and the Good Boy Galaxy. Like, we got so typically December carts have been like really good. They have not disappointed. The Bitmap Brothers, I'm looking, actually I'm kind of looking forward to that. Those games actually look like they might be kind of cool. So I think there is a place. I guess what I'm trying to say is I think there is a place for computer collections. I just think like with the C64 licenses, so kind of going back to what you were saying, Carl, like how did the alpha affect it? I think because they spent the money and time on the alpha, that like the C64 licenses, again, I know nothing, but I think they're probably like pretty cheap and easy for them to go after. They have the connection. So I don't know. I think like I'm just saying, I think that the alpha, the EXPR, and the VSR have taken more time, money, and resources to put
I'm
up
just
front.
gonna say that right now the alpha is the thing that I'm looking forward to the alpha way more than any of these cartridges coming out or any of the ones I haven't played yet.
Really?
None of those really seem that interesting. Like Tomb Raider, nah. I'm not. I'm not a big Tomb Raider fan.
No, I
That one
know,
just
but
seems interesting. I've not played any of those games before, but that'll be interesting to play. Bitmap Brothers 2, Legacy of Kain, that's interesting, but again, I'm not really looking forward to playing Soul Reaver, especially the PS1 version. But then there's Toe Plan 3 and Data East 2, so those actually, if we're looking at cartridges this is supposedly scheduled to come out this year that I'm most looking forward to, it's probably that combo, that Toe Plan Arcade 3 and Data East Arcade 2.
yeah, no, it's definitely interesting, kind of funny. Actually, and I'm being perfectly honest. Watch my video first. I can't recommend the Thamos collection.
If I was going to recommend C64 games, it would. I couldn't even tell you anything about any of the C64 games on Thalamus. I've never played any of them. I would pick up. There's like Law of the West, like Accolade games, Hardball, Mini Putt, and then the Electronic Arts games like Racing Destruction Set, Mail Order Monsters, Archon 2. Those are the games.
Two collections I can recommend. Team 17. That was actually pretty good. That again, that's an Amiga, and then like the Home Computer Heroes.
Really, Team 17.
Yes,
that one you would recommend,
dude, for like Project X and Quirk or Quonk or whatever. Like those two games made it.
Oh
work.
man,
yeah.
You know what? For me, I'm looking at my ranking, how I ranked all these collections so far, and I've ranked Team 17 as the third worst collection over all the cartridges.
No, I get that, but that's what's interesting to see your views, because I kind of feel like it's like the opposite of a lot of, which is
the worst. It's to me, it's the worst computer collection.
Wow. Again, yeah, teach their. See that I'm not that okay. That's kind of cool. That I'm not surprised, because like Mega Man. There's a lot of love for Street Fighter, but like Mega Man, like is that's like the more appealing one. I think that's like the better. That's like the better. You get more.
What's funny is like I got the Mega Man Alpha Deluxe, but it's not because of Mega Man. Those were the games I didn't want in that.
You get it for the looks. Oh god.
I would have preferred if I had the games in the Mega Man one, but like the look of the Street Fighter one.
Well, see, what's interesting about that, Corny, like you can get the remasters on other platforms. I think it's neat that like on Evercade, like we don't have that, right? Like you can get that on Switch, you can get that on like PC or anything else.
Well, I'm not gonna say they're awful. I just couldn't get into them, and plus, I never did play 2 or 3, so I can't even speak about those. I only played the first one. But the fact that I played the first one and never wanted to even touch another Tomb Raider game.
Well, I can tell you, if you're playing the game by yourself, yes, you'll either need to spend a lot of time and frustration, or you'll need to research online. And that's what I was realizing last night. Like if I wasn't playing these live with my audience, yeah. That's why I'm like, some people are focused on tank controls. I'm like, no, those are fine. It's like, just focus on like not seeing where to go because of the texture map, and kind of getting frustrated there, or like, that's all.
Well, it's a puzzle game. Like almost first and foremost, it's a puzzle game trying to solve, how to proceed throughout the tombs or whatever they are. But also, where it lost me was the combat. And,
the combat's fine, actually. The combat's easy. The combat's really easy.
The combat was the one I had problems with Tomb Raider. Because like once you it's the kind of thing where it's like it doesn't seem like it's the kind of game where you could just run it and shoot everything, because you'll run out of ammo. And I see that's the kind of the problem I had.
You have unlimited ammo in the first one with the pistols. Like if you get the shotgun,
I remember running out of ammo.
If you get the special weapons like the shotgun or the Uzi, which I haven't found yet, you can. But like your pistols, you have unlimited ammo. Your dual pistols. But no, the combat is actually surprisingly easy in that game. So with save states though, right? Because you run into a bunch of raptors or wolves and then die, You just know to pull out your. You just have to get the surprise. You pull out your weapon. You move around a little bit. Oh, Crow will love it's either. But Armalite. Yeah, Armalite's interesting. I don't know. It's just listen. It's for C64. It's a different like with the flashy colors and it's just and honestly like with the C64 games appear that they were made by people who are high to play games while you're high. That's like with the way that they're built and the colors and everything. That's really what it seems like they are, which is just kind of like fascinating because like Atari and other people they were doing all that stuff too, but like the design of the games and everything, I felt like they didn't reflect that. But and again, it's just a lot of it. It has to do with the timing, and it has to do with like the it has to do with the waiting. But we'll see though. I think Legacy of Kain. I think that collection will be really really well received. I think Bitmap Brothers 2 will be pretty well received, and I think people will like that. But it's going to come down to
Bitmap Brothers 2 is the one that's got Z on it, which is actually a PlayStation game. And I vaguely remember playing that game on PC, and I already know it's not my type of game.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's a real time.
Yeah, because it's a strategy game. But everything else, like the isometric,
well, it's a real time strategy game, and I'm not a big fan of real time strategy.
Yeah. So we'll just kind of have to see. But I think like the other games will be pretty cool. It'll be something different. Maybe not. Actually, Melissa, I haven't tried that now with an
analog stick. Yeah, that might actually improve my view on that game.
It's okay. But for me, though, the biggest problem with that were just the horrendous camera angles. But maybe now you can use the second analog stick. Well, good. Thank you, Morley. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to Toplin and Data East as well. Yeah. I think those are going to be because for me personally, like I like Data East 1 was like I think might be like the best arcade collection or one of my favorite carts because I just kind of feel like you can pop it in and play it like at any time and I don't know.
Data East Arcade 1 I have as the second best Evercade cart.
I could go in at any time and play Bad Dudes from beginning to end. Yes, there's definitely like nostalgia there, but I could like totally do that. 100%. But yeah, I don't know. I think Daddy Is 2 could be really. See, that's kind of funny. Like you think it's the weakest. Interesting. I don't know. I got pretty pumped when I saw that. Oh, one thing that you guys need to try on your Trouble in One collection is see if for some games like Truxton if like save states are broken. Because I think like Rich mentioned that a while ago. Like I can't load any like on Truxton, I can't load on any save states. Like Snow
Really?
Bros. Yeah. And it was like for the beta patch, and I tried like reapplying the beta patch, but I can't. So I thought that was like kind of like interesting. Everything else plays and works, but I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. I'd like to see those beta patches become fully realized. The other great thing that we're gonna get when I'm more I did though. You know what? On tonight's stream, maybe we'll do it, Gene. I don't know. Maybe I got to delete those save states and create new ones. But I think for me, the biggest thing that's going to come from Evercade Alpha is being able to get like dip switches and more customization with the arcade carts.
Well, that's not going to come from Alpha specifically. That's just going to be some feature that they've been talking about implementing for a long time already. So
exactly,
that's going to happen with or without the Alpha. Right,
but I kind of feel like that if the Alpha wasn't coming out, there wouldn't be as much of a priority for them to do it.
Well, there doesn't seem to be. I don't know what their priorities are because it seems like there's things that should have been done that have not been done.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah, it still blows me away. I don't know how many years it's been. Like with the Atari Arcade 1. It's like it's been out so long that it's now a legacy cart, and they never fixed Asteroids Deluxe.
Yeah, and they never really publicly acknowledged it or really talked about it. Oh, the only thing I think Ryan said when they used to come on Evercast, I think they just said that it was Atari's fault they sent them the wrong ROM, and that was basically it.
That's what they said. But okay, get the right ROM.
Exactly.
Or change the cart so it says it's Asteroids and not Asteroids Deluxe.
Yeah.
But I think the way they figured it is that most people aren't going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, and then it's like, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think our community would tell the difference pretty quick.
They couldn't, apparently.
I
Well,
don't know.
without being specific, I see all the time where our community finds, let's say, like if there's like a bit, like, you know, actually even after cards, not even a beta release, when cards have come out, they find like misspellings and they find like basic like mistakes like that all the time. Some people are a little bit crazy, but like, yeah, this is spelled wrong. This is here in this language. You're missing this. So yeah, our community does like help them fix a lot of stuff, which is kind of weird that got through to be released in the first place, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or they don't care. But see, the thing was, what's interesting is like we would like say these things, and then in the past, like Sean would come on or Ryan would come on, and they would explain themselves, but they don't do that anymore, which is kind of sad.
Well, they explain it, but still not fix it.
That's why they don't come on anymore. We're actually pretty critical of them when they need to be criticized, and we're pretty supportive when they need to be supportive. But if they tend to stay away from anybody who gives them any criticism, I think. So, yeah, too bad.
Yeah, I know, right? Too bad.
Well, that's their choice, right?
Yes, it is. It is, but it would be nice. Is all I'm saying. But yeah, so do you guys think that at the end of this month, or I should say when we have like the next set of cards, do you think they'll finally announce December, or when do we think they'll announce?
Didn't someone say they're going to announce them this week? Somebody said they're being announced this week for the Go On.
You mean this upcoming week? Like next?
Yeah. Somebody announced that in chat, didn't they?
I hope so. Actually, the funny thing is, I know when I was streaming a couple nights ago, someone said just go to like Amazon UK and find the leak, and you'll get to know. That seems to be the either intentional or like unintentional thing. It's bound to be soon. Yeah.
And by the way, these carts are being delayed until early 2025.
Well,
that is awesome.
So the next time there is ever delays, I'm ready. And what I mean is that like, kind of like it's kind of become a meme or kind of like joked about like how like Gene should do like a song, like an ever delay effect song, and actually he did.
He did an ever delay song?
Yes.
Are we going to hear it?
Do you want to? Let me hold on me. I played it. I played it on my stream, but I can definitely play it. Let me bring it up here. Hopefully, it won't be too loud. Yeah. Let me present. Show screen. So you all can see that. And then there's also like the lyrics. Let me know if it's too loud.
I think he wrote this song specifically for you.
Yeah.
I was expecting something with more of a melody. Like sad melancholy.
But yeah, no, it is. Oh my god, the vocal delay. Yeah, no, it is tailored. It definitely is tailored towards my channel. But I love it though. But that's what's so great about Gene. That cracked me up. It definitely cracked me up. Oh, sorry if that was too loud. There were like delays or whatever. But yeah, no, I definitely like, I definitely need to do something. Definitely need to like do something with that. But it's funny. No, because seriously, I always joke about saying like, oh man, yes, Blaze delivered this early because they knew I need content, or they, or they didn't. But I don't know. So
You
yeah,
could
I don't
do
know.
here's my challenge to you. Do a 3-hour stream where you do nothing but play Farming Simulator C64 edition.
God,
Dude,
why?
I
Why
don't
do
know.
you-
if
Hey,
there's any
it's
amount
my
of-
challenge.
No, dude, I don't know.
I played the game. I played the game for 2 hours. At least.
I am hooked on the Evercade.
It's actually
Man,
not a
cool.
bad game. I like it.
I know that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that you do it. It's not my it's not my cup. It's not my cup. I'd rather do that with the Gremlin collection.
This funny is I really didn't like the farming because when we got that collection, we got like the code for Farming Simulator 17 on Steam. I actually played that first so I could get some sort of context before playing the C64 one, and I hated it. I was like, oh man, this is terrible. I don't like this at all. And I played the C64 one. I was like, this is way better.
So, there's only one. There's like only one way I think I would do that, and it would have to be if there was like some charity that I believed in would like advertise and like sponsor it. You know what I mean? And then maybe it was some like good cause, and maybe I would torture myself to do that. To like help out. It would get me exposure. It would have to be something like that, because good God.
Well, wait a minute. Technically, every time you put out a video, it's exposure.
Yeah, but like
There
but
you
don't
go.
you don't have people like advertising, to be like kind of like behind, to kind of be like behind you. You know what I mean?
Like
It
once
does.
you know what the whole thing of the game is, it's actually it's kind of a relaxing type of game. You just got to make sure you don't run out of gas. That's it.
Like Farm Aid.
Farming, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. What's his HCH video? What is HCH?
That's a good question.
I watch Boy and His Dog. I don't watch. What's the problem is, since I'm so far behind on cartridges, what I have to do is I don't watch the videos where it's like, oh, here's the most recent cart. No, it's like, no, I'm not going to watch that until after I play the cart. But then when I finish a cart, I actually go back and try and find. That's why I watch your videos months later, is because Home Computer Heroes. I did watch his. I don't remember. What's funny is I don't remember. I have to go back and rewatch that because I don't remember what his thoughts on it were, to be honest. Because I did go back and I rewatched, like, oh, here's my first impressions, like your first impression videos. I don't watch that until after I finish playing all the games and making my video.
You want to be, I don't know, influenced.
Well, I know I don't want to purposefully have the opposite opinion of you.
Yeah. No, it just depends. Like even like when what was it, like RGB and like Mad Little Pixel got their hands on those carts early. Like I just kind of skipped through it. Like I just wanted to taste, right? I just wanted to see if they were going to be like as awesome as I thought that they were gonna, that they were gonna be.
Hey, there's only one person that I trust in telling me whether or not a cart is awesome or not. That's me.
That's what. I knew you were gonna say that.
Well, you mean it's only awesome for you?
And that's all that matters to me is me.
Okay. I agree. Oh,
That's funny.
It's a good day.
Oh, he played it for ages and talked right. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like there's games that like I've thought were terrible, but I've played them way more than like some of the other games. Like that Legend of Wukong game. I played that for over 20 hours, and it's like this game can't be this bad. That's what I'm thinking the whole time. It is.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. I don't know. Like the thing, like my perspective, and you all might have the same thing. It's just like when you sit down for gaming and you're like, hey, I've got 30 minutes or an hour. Like I want it to be like an enjoyable experience. And what was funny is when I did like my first initial impressions on the C64, I'm like, I had to make a choice. I could have played the latest Castlevania collection that night, or I could do the C64. I was gonna jokingly say, "Yep, I gave up playing Castlevania for this, guys."
Well, here's the thing: is that
Ugh.
I don't want to like if I play a game and I have an initial bad impression of it, I just don't want to leave it at that because there's been plenty of TV shows, movies, games where I've played it or watched it the first time, and I was like, I don't like this at all. But then I'll continue to watch it or continue to play it, and it turns out to be one of my most favorite things. Like some of my most favorite TV shows and movies were ones where I didn't like it the first time I watched it, and then coming back to it, I realized it just becomes one of my favorite things. Like Beavis and Butthead is a good example of that. I hated that show the first time I watched it, but the more I watched it, the more I liked it, and now it's one of my favorite things.
That was like no, I mean everybody does that differently. With me though, is that like I know what I like and I know what I don't like, and sometimes, but I want to make sure I give something enough of a chance just to kind of
No, that's not true at all. That is not true at all.
Dude, I suffered.
You did not give Bone Marrow a chance at all.
Mm-hmm. Or the Intelligent 2 collection, a chance.
If it wasn't a
Or
broken
the
game,
C64 collection, a chance.
I'm not even saying Farming Simulator, which you put 1 minute of time into.
yeah, dude, that seemed like that was just more of like a gimmick again. But that's the beauty though about this stuff. Like if I don't like I kind of like know, and that may be frustrating for some people, but it's just like sometimes I can't subject myself to the controls.
Sometimes you got to give a game. I'll give you a good example. I never played MMOs, right? Never. All my friends were into World of Warcraft and stuff like that, and I was all I ever played was sports games and FPS during the Xbox in the early 2000s, 2000 through 2007. So one day, my buddy told me, he said, "Hey, you want to come play WoW?" And I'm like, "No, I don't like the lore, right?" And he goes, "Well, there's a new game coming out called Lord of the Rings online that you might want to try." And that I got into the alpha and I hated it. And I said, "I don't know how to play. This game is so slow. You got to click on everything. You got to use a mouse and keyboard." So I just hated it. And then I found out my buddies were playing every couple nights, and he kept inviting me, and I'm like showed up one day, and I slowly got used to the controls. And I've been playing that game since 2007. Like, love it. So that was my introduction to PC games. So it took a long time for me to change my opinion on it. But once I did, I loved it.
Gotcha.
It's the same as any other game. It's the same as any other Intellivision game. Once you learn the controls or stuff like that. I mean, you can't substitute a bad game for a bad, like nothing.
Right.
A bad game is just a bad game. But I wouldn't jump to that conclusion all the time just because you struggle with the controls, perhaps.
But like MMOs though are different because the main huge part is like the community, right? That's like the community of people and who you play with, and like the game itself almost doesn't even.
Sure, the community was there, but it's just somebody showed me the rule. It sold me the controls, right? Which was stupid because I bought the game and the controller of the keyboard was a thing you unfolded. So I could have figured it out myself. But
somebody asked, "Oh, are there any USB trackballs ablaze?" Yeah. Mike asked about like, yeah, I think I wish they would go back and add like trackball support.
It's funny.
I know, yeah.
I should have one. Where is it? Buried over here.
That's what they that's what they should be. It would be. So that's what I mean. That's what they should be focusing. That's what they should be focusing.
Yeah, instead I'm all ready. Here's my trackball.
Yes. let me put it this way to you. And again, this is just as opinion. Instead of trying to sell people like on a $200 to $300 device, imagine if they repackaged some of those trackball games, made fixes, and actually had like an official trackball or like spinner. You know what I mean? I think they
need official. They just need to support it.
Right, but let's say Blaze wants an official because if they have a third party works, they're not going to make money off of that. So maybe they need.
All a trackball is, all they would need to do is enable mouse support, and bam, you have trackball support instantly. Yeah. That's all the trackball is a mouse.
Yeah. But no, like that, like that's what I mean. Like, do like more like they did at the like in Television One collection. They made that like easy to play. Like they kind of, get on the bandwagon like paddle games. Like that would be something big. But it's just and again the reason I agree with this is because what Blaze seems to struggle with things like auto fire and all that stuff. Like, dude, that's all like analog support. All that's built into RetroArch. and that's like all built into emulators. So again, I don't know like what architecture, what changes that they're.
Well,
like, that they're,
I'm a little with when it comes to RetroArch. When you're talking about auto fire, is that assigning auto fire to separate buttons, or is that just enabling auto fire for certain buttons? Can you do like a this button is
yes,
auto fire and this button is
yes,
the same button but not auto fire?
yes, I do that all the time. It's just like it's a couple mouse clicks. Yeah,
I never
yeah,
really dealt with that because the controllers I have the auto fire built into the controllers.
yeah. There you go. Or like in the Konami collection, like for Contra, you can just press like L and R and you can turn that on and off, which like really saves your fingers for using auto fire. I mean, how like Mega Man, like the Japanese version of Mega Man 2 had like auto fire built into it, but like you didn't have like the difficulty select, which is interesting because it seems like in Japan they haven't they don't like maybe here some people see that as cheating, but like in Japan auto fire has been a thing for like a long time.
Oh well, the whole thing with those games being harder or easier in one region rather than another is it's everything to do with the rental market, because they didn't want you renting the game and then beating it when you rented it, so they made it so it was harder.
Yeah. But no, that's why like when I always compare like if it like let me put it this way, if a free like emulation solution has support for something, when you offer to sell something, like it should definitely have it. Which for the most part, Blaze has been doing pretty good, but we haven't had any of those features for a while. But they're starting to get there. Like we had like a UI update, so at least I give them credit that now they're starting to shift their focus back to that. And that's kind of what I want them to see. Like I don't want them to spend their time on developing a new Evercade console that may come out in 2 or 3 years. Fix and work with what you have now. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I just think those things are being worked on independently from one another, and it's not like one team that is doing everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of get the impression that like Ryan is like the lead and the only programmer, and like they have one other person.
Oh,
Maybe
I think
that's
they're much bigger than that. They just haven't. It's hard to find information on Blaze company size and that, but
yeah.
the fact that they could attract that other guy from, they must be fairly big. I'd say they got to be at least 50 to 100 people.
And who knows? Maybe they even have this keyboard and mouse support working. They're just waiting to release it so they can announce something and keep it. Oh, here's a new feature. Since they did the analog stick stuff recently, it's like, well, they might have gotten the analog stick stuff and like the keyboard stuff working, but they only did the analog controller just so they had something down the line to announce.
Yeah, well, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. But I just kind of feel like we could be getting more updates. Like it's weird. Like I guess maybe it is good. I don't know. I kind of feel like
50 employees, 11 to 50 employees. So I'd say 50. I would think.
I'm thinking more like 20. I could be wrong on that, but I don't. I think it's. Or let me put it this way. I think they maybe have. I think they like have a lot of people that are part time that do like testing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's like a core group of like 5 or 10 people, and then everyone else is kind of like contracted out or they do testing and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe Blaze wishes they had 50. I could be wrong, but
it's really I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me one way or another how big they are.
yeah. As long as they can get the job done. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I really want to. I like December. I want them to redeem themselves in December. I think it's possible.
Well, you know what their job is. Their job is selling stuff.
Of course.
So once it's sold, they're really under no obligations to improve the thing they've already sold.
No, that's true. That's true. And then you have to decide like how good a support that you want to offer, for things and whatnot. Definitely.
So it's like the only reason for them to go ahead and implement this stuff is if it's going to increase sales down the line. And
yes.
Like, okay, so if we include this feature, is it going to make more people interested? If they're going to do all this work and not get any additional money for it, then what's the point in doing the work?
Yeah. It's a balance because I think some features should have been there from the beginning. Like Out of Fire was a happy accident with like the NES games. Like
I think they caught lightning in a bottle during the pandemic, and that's why it is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too.
Yeah. All right, I've got to go, guys. I'm sorry, but I want to go hang it. My kids are playing RC cars, so I want to go play with them.
Yeah. No, I do have to go get my
go get your RC car and play.
Yeah, the battery packs are right there. If you can look right there, that little black bag, that's the battery packs I need to go charge.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I can't really make it out.
Yeah, we got a little one that goes 30 kilometers an hour, so I want to go play with that. Later, everyone.
All right, see ya.
Oh, come to my channel. I got a new toy. I got a really cool new toy, and what I was doing during this thing when the boys were arguing was I was setting up virtual keypad for Brawl Stars because it's a really cool device. Come over and check it out. Bye.
Brawl Stars. That's on
I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
We'll catch you later, Pete. Yeah, we're winding things down. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Nice. Anything you want to? What do you want to plug?
Well, I'm still working my way through C64 Collection 3, but I've got videos ready to go for. See, last week I put out Godzilla Pinball. Yesterday, Kong Pinball. Next week will be Godzilla versus Kong Pinball. Yesterday, I also put out a reaction video for the next two. Well, not the next two tables, but they announced two more tables. One for Pinball FX, one for Pinball M. So I actually did a reaction video since I didn't work yesterday. But other than that, I'm actually in the middle of making a video for Fishtails for Pinball FX, and because I've just been getting way more into Pinball FX. Like I'm getting into Pinball FX the way I should have been. I think kind of like the Evercade stuff kind of distracted me from that a bit. But I'm still playing my way through Evercade stuff. So maybe by the end of next week, I'll actually be done with C64 Collection 3.
Nice. Nice, dude. Very cool.
I think I only have like 2 or 3 more games left in it to play.
Nice. Very cool. I think next week, well, so it depends, right? Like if we get the announcement of the new Evercade carts next week, then my reaction to all that, that'll be that video. If not, I will do my follow-up video for Tomb Raider now that I've gotten to play it a lot. And then, yes, for the Thamos collection, I'll have to do that. But tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I will be streaming live. I'll be completing another level with Tomb Raider and hopefully Gene and Immortal.
You need your help.
And I need
you need to pay them. You need to pay them.
I pay them and never crack. Oh my god. No, but seriously though, like for those of you who don't know, like Gene has contributed a lot to my channel. I appreciate it. Like he hangs out a lot. He did the logo, the theme songs, and all that. He's just awesome. And not only that too, like his sense of humor. So like I always appreciate having him around.
I would consider doing like a reaction video for their cart announcements, but every time they like put out the video, I wind up having to kill myself to put out a video because they put it out at like the worst possible time for me. Like the last couple ones, they post them like at 8 a.m, right when I start work. Like I can't do anything about that.
That's kind of like, wouldn't it be nice that like what some companies do? Like they say, here's an embargo. Like, wouldn't it be nice maybe a week before it releases? If they're like, hey, Ed and Crow, we're going to release this cart. Here's the trailer.
I don't want that kind of treatment. No.
No, but I mean, like for planning, I hear you. Like, I wish.
Well, no, that's not. Even if I knew ahead of time, that's when they were going to release it. I'm still not going to do a video because I'm not going to take off of work to do a reaction video on an Evercade cart.
No. You wouldn't have to take off of work. That's what I mean. Like, if they release it at 8 o'clock in the morning, but let's say like a couple days before then you can like do that after. You can do it on your own time. And then you just you set this video to schedule that, and that way it releases like an hour. They'd say don't put it on until an hour after we do ours.
No, I don't want to do that.
But I do though, because it's funny because like whoever does the first reaction video gets the most attention, and then everyone else it kind of like leaps off of that.
I mean, I can't complain. Like as much as the stuff I want to complain about, I can't complain because they are in Europe. And so we've got the time zone thing. They're focused on that section of the population over there, halfway across the world. So I can't really complain that it sucks for me because it doesn't fit my schedule. It doesn't have to.
and then we'll wrap up in a second. But it is free advertising for them, and it's kind of like with something like this, good or bad, as long as you're talking about me, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the whole. That's kind of the whole thing.
Plus, when I do those kind of videos, it takes away time from me doing other stuff that I should be doing.
Of course. So I gotta pop off. I gotta have lunch. I gotta go get my flu shot. But I'll be here tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll play more Tomb Raider. And God, I don't know, we might try that other level of creatures, and we'll see what else. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we end up playing more Castlevania. My streams, I always seem to play Castlevania or like some type of Konami. But before I play us out, Crow, you have the last word.
Party on, dudes!
Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.